What's up, baby?
What's going on, man? It's cracking. Long time no see.
Man, it's been quite a while. I reached out to you. No, you reached out to me.
Yeah, I gave you a call. Was that about a month ago or 3 weeks ago after work? Had an awesome chat then. We hadn't chatted for almost a year before that, surely.
Yeah, man. So me and Jumi lived together when we first moved out of home, eh? That was when we were 17, 18. We were living in Brisbane playing football together, and we lived together for a year.
106.
Yeah.
Originals.
Fulcher
Me, you
Road.
and Oatesy.
Corey Oates, shout out Corey Oates. And then we lived like a street away from each other after that.
Yeah. Where were you living then?
Ashgrove still.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've known each other for quite a while, and become pretty good friends.
It goes back before that as well. We've done a heap of training camps through Bronx. It's probably since we were 15 we sort of linked up first.
Kind of gelled together and real good mates from there, and then played football together, and kind of when football finished, you kind of went on a different route. I'm kind of still in the footy, but we always still stayed connected. But I hadn't heard from you in a little bit.
Yeah, man. I suppose after footy, I sort of took off on my own little journey there. After 2015, I walked away from footy, and then had to find another path, I suppose, I was going into, and that was work. I was already working when I was playing football, but the last few months, I put my electrical apprenticeship on hold to train full time. So I was training full time then, and after the second jaw break I had, 2015, I decided to walk away and just, source out something else to do. And so I moved back home to Sunny Coast and started working as an electrician just at the hospital down the road here. And I don't know, I suppose I don't really know what happened. I just went down a separate path. Like a lot of the footy boys, they're doing their own thing, and I came back home and just started, more or less doing my own thing, working, and then with my partner Holly, we soon later had a child, Jaya.
Yeah.
So I just indulged myself in that, and I suppose partly it was a bit lazy. Like I'm always that sort of person that likes to go off by myself. So if you don't stay in touch with boys, and everyone's just busy as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like you leave something, everyone gets older, people have kids, people get married, and footy takes up a lot of your time. And I just went down the road of working and also on a little, like a personal journey, figuring myself out after football. You know what I mean? Like football was such a huge part of your life. From everyone knows you start playing at 6, or I don't know when you started playing 10 or something, but it's all you ever did. So when you cut that tie and jump back out, and I suppose the real world, as they say, it's a process to you're not letting that side of you go. Like I'm always a football player. Like rugby league still is a part of me. It teaches me so much, and I still learn so much from it, even though I haven't played in I don't know how many years now. But it's always a part of you. But it's a process when you
transition.
When you transition, you leave it behind, and just got to figure out life. And
yeah, for sure, man. And like football's been such a big part of your life. Like obviously being good at it when you were younger, and then coming up through the grades, and then getting a did you get you got a contract in grade for a year or train and trial?
I like the start when I was with Bronx.
No, when we finished 20s.
We finished 20s.
Like you were training there full time.
My last year, yeah. Well, I did a pre-season when I was 19. So the second year 20s, I just did their pre-season. I think I was like doing, I can't really remember. I think it was like 3 days with them, and then you fall back. That was from November to January sort of time, and then fell back into the 20s. And then the last year of 20s, coming off contract, I signed a 1-year deal.
Yeah. So
that was like that. I don't know, outside the 25 sort of.
Yeah, and that doesn't fucking matter because you still that's your life, man. That's you're hungry trying to make that. So you've like footy's been such a big part of your life, but if we take it back, like you want to tell the people where you're from, where your name comes from, tell people your full name. Like I know all this, like,
Yeah.
and it's just an interesting kind of story about.
Yeah. Well, I was, sort of interesting, I suppose. I don't find it that interesting, but I was one of I've got 3 older brothers, 1 younger sister. I was born in Corlin Beach, hotel floor in Corlin Beach, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah.
Mum was a bit of a cruiser. She just she'd done a heap of travelling. She was into her market, so we were always moving about when I was younger. But yeah, so I started, that's where I was. Coolum Beach is where it all happened, and then from there we stuck around the Coolum area, and that's where I started playing football, Coolum Colts.
But was your dad a part of your life then?
So when I was, I think, so mum and dad split up before I was born. Mum, she was over in Africa, so my dad's from Kenya. That's my background. Dad's Kenyan, mum's obviously Australian. Before then, she was doing she does like crochet stuff, so a lot of her work she was mixing in travelling and work. So she was over in Africa, and she was, getting all the African women over there. She was making all their crochet stuff and living that, and that's how she met Dad over there. But yeah, they split up before I was born. She was pregnant with me, and then she came back to Australia to get things happening over here. And then she already obviously had my brother as well. So Boya, he's my full brother, and the other 2 are sort of half brothers. They got different dads.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, she came back over and had me. We stuck around the Coolum area, and then that's where the footy journey started. When I was about 5, started training because I was watching my older brother. He started before me, so I sort of watched him and started training for his team because you can't start until you're 6. So we did a bit of training when we were 5, started when we were 6, and that sort of took off that journey. And
Yeah. What's your full name?
Full name. Sometimes I forget it. Nah, joke. Full name is Ajuma Oginga Odinga Jaramogi Apudo Adams.
And from what you told me,
it's tough when you have to do like government stuff, and they're asking like when you buy a house or do whatever, they're like, writing your full name out in documents, and they sort of look at you like, are you fucking serious?
Like when you first told me that, and from what I remember is that it was something to do with the Kenyan government or something, that kids that were born had to kind of have that in their name. Was that true or not?
No. Oh man, I'll get this wrong. If my dad listens to this, he'll be like, "That's not right, son." But Oginga, I think it was Oginga Odinga. He was a politician, a Kenyan politician, some high-powered Kenyan politician, and he died. So I'm pretty sure he died right before I got born. So it was like a respectful thing. African culture, it's all about respect, blah, blah, blah. So I think that, so Oginga Odinga, that was, out of respect to him. And then Jaramogi, I'm not too sure where that actually come from. Apudo is my dad's last name, and Adams is mum. So they, I don't know why, they just mixed it up and threw it all in there and just said, deal with that when you're older, son.
It's like a crock pot, man, full of food. Like, it's your name, brother.
Yeah. My brother and Boya is just Boya Harry Adams. Like, yeah, sweet. No dramas.
That was a crack up the first time you ever told me that, man. But would you ever like to get back to, like, obviously you're born in Australia and stuff like that, but ever get back to your Kenyan roots, like?
Yeah, I do. I mean, like
that must be tough, bro.
Because I never had my dad in my life from birth. I sort of almost rejected that half of me. Like, so it was just me and mum for the first 3 years, and I had a stepdad come in. So and I was only 3 then. So I always looked at him as partially as my dad. So the Kenyan background, I knew it was there, and Dad was always making like small contacts here and there, but it's, when you're young, you don't understand stuff. So I just got sort of weirdly stubborn about it and just pushed it away. So I never, and it was also not, back then it was not really that cool to, like, you know what I mean? Even having a huge name at school and you got all your mates are just
Yeah.
whatever. And it's always something like, oh, what's your whole name? And I had dreadlocks back then, and they're always like, oh, Ted, oh, where are you from? And blah, blah. So I never, and I was always quiet, so I never liked talking about it too. So I always just try to hide. It was always just hiding and pushing that away. So, but yeah, when I first met my dad when I was 18, so after that, that sort of spoke, that sort of, injected a bit of spark into like, interested in where am I from? And Africa's such, especially Kenya, is such a rich culture, man. Like, I still haven't. It's always something I'm thinking about. Like, it'd be cool. I started reading a couple of like books about like, the history about African culture in Kenya and that. So, but I still haven't dived into it. But 100%, man, I would love to go over there to even take the family over there and have 2 kids now. So. Be cool to you still know your bloodlines in Jaya and Rocky, so like soon enough they're gonna go, oh Dad, where do we get the Kenyan background?
Why are we dark? Yeah, but like
if they asked me that, I wouldn't really have an answer for them. So
man, can you like that would be such a cool feeling. I'd think taking your kids back to a place where your family kind of a side of your family originates from, and it's like it just. I don't know if it would be like a past life type of thing, but it'd be some sentimental type of feeling. I'd suggest like what you'd get.
Yeah, man. It's got to I just need to look into it a bit more and like dive into it as well. Again, I'm still in a work in progress with it as well. I'm not really 100%. You know what I mean? Connected. To that still, because you know what I mean.
Bro,
like
you met your dad when you were 18.
Yeah, so I met him when the 18. So that was the first time, and I've only ever seen him twice, but I can remember. So it was 18, and then the last time was when we went overseas a year or so ago. So it was like 18 and 23. So I've only ever, like all up total hours. I've probably been with him for I don't know 10 hours. You know what I mean? Actually, no, there was another time he did come over here too.
You've had to do
been 3 times.
Yeah, you've had to do a lot of shit by yourself, man. Like. You didn't have a dad. Your mum was always kind of busy and kind of just, from what I could gather, was like loved you, but was kind of like, oh, go fend for yourself. Like you got it, you can do it. Go do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and my mum's sort of like that. She was always a outlier. She was always going off and doing, traveling her own path, and that's where I got a lot of my, where a lot of my stuff I'm going through now. She's always just doing like taking kids over into Africa when they're like 2 and 3, or taking 3 kids over to Africa, and she was just telling me like everyone's going, oh, are you sure you're gonna give them like the injections, like the stuff? She said, nah, don't worry about that stuff. And like my brother's got like malaria twice and shit. Like she's just always she was a full-time hippie back in the day. But yeah, she was always one to go out and just live her own life, man. She's really, really interesting. We keep telling her to write a book or something, because her life story I couldn't even tell you about it, but
bro, you've told me some stories.
Some of the stuff she's gone through, it's insane.
I don't know if you'd be able to say it like live, bro, because you could maybe, you know what I mean? It's pretty, it's pretty full on, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Life.
I wouldn't, but I would have to probably ask her.
Exactly.
I don't know if she would like it, but
man,
she's definitely had some.
That's a story and a half.
Interesting moments. If there was a book, I'm sure it'd be a bestseller, eh?
Yeah. Man, so like a few pointers here like that we've got is, how hard was it to kind of walk away from footy? You kind of expressed it a little bit, but walking away from that, and that's your kind of identity as a person, who you were for so long, and then walking away, like, did you go through like dark stages and stuff through that transition, man? Like, because you went from football full time to then injuring your jaw, breaking your jaw for a second time, I believe, and then you kind of pushed away, and it's like, man, I got to get a job to support my family, and it's just like, it's not like you got a massive spotlight on you, but a lot of people who you're connected with kind of then don't reach out to you because you're just not in that arena anymore. Yeah. So you're kind of there by yourself, and you're going to work for however, like 10, 12 hours a day, coming home, and it's like, man, like, did you go through some dark periods through that?
Yeah, 100%. I still remember, it's so clear the day that I decided not to, because I broke my jaw once, and I think it was our second year, 20s or 18. Whatever that was. I was back playing in 6 weeks. Like, it was just like another injury, you know what I mean? Like, I've had so many. I think I've broken, like, I've done 3 collarbones and like heaps of injuries, but then that was just another one of them. The first time I done it, I was like, oh yeah, sweet, back pain at 6 weeks. Still hit me pretty hard. It was a pretty heavy injury, but the second time, actually, a lot of people don't know that I actually tried to leave football before that as well. I remember, I think we'll still live in. I think I was just going through a hard time moving away. I was going through the stage of missing, friends and family back at home and missing out and stuff. I always had like a keen interest in going travelling, and obviously when you're playing footy every week, you can't go travelling. So I actually thought about leaving like once, and I remember walking in and talking to Hinchy. Remember Hinchy?
Mm.
Yeah, talking to him about it, and he just, because I'm like, oh, I don't know what I want to do, or I just went through a stage. I remember that, and he just said, "Oh, look, man," he's just saying how many different trades and stuff he's been through, and it's like it's always good to try different things and just be loose and move around and figure out what you want. And that's one thing I struggle with football, because it was one thing. It was since 6 years old, it was one thing, and being good at it, you loved it at the you love it at the start, and I still do. It's a weird relationship. At the start, you love it. You're playing it just because you just love getting out there on the weekend with your mates, and just love just kicking a footy around. Like you play a full game, and you play it after it. After the game's finished, you'd still play. So yeah, and then
So to walk away from that,
so when I decided to walk away, I went around the bush there, but I still remember to the day walking in. So I broke my jaw the second time. I was laying in hospital and sort of just staring up and just going, fuck, is this really it? Like, another jaw break. This is another injury I have to overcome. And, all the training process behind it as well. And I was sort of just staring up, and at that stage I was already sort of exploring myself and, wanting just had different ideas.
Yeah.
So, and I hate being on the fence with something. Like, one thing with how I am, I hate being on the fence trying to decide something. Like, there's nothing that causes me more frustration, like, oh, should I do this or should I do that, and trying to decide both ways. So I don't know. I don't know what I did. I don't know if I wrote stuff down and just weighed up the pros and cons, but I ended up just coming up with it. And I'm just like, what I'll do is, and at the time as well, I put my electrical apprenticeship at Holes. I was a second year apprentice. So post footy, one of the things I was thinking about is like, okay, if injuries keep happening, and then I get to the age of, say, at 26 and I was on the fringe, could make it, could not make it. And if they kept happening and I was at 26 and I decided then to not go back, I was going to be a 26-year-old falling back onto a second-year electrical apprenticeship, you know what I mean, with no backing. So that was something that went through, and I was just like, I don't know, I just sort of just stripped, and I just went, fuck it, whatever. What I'll do is I'll call it here. I'll finish my apprenticeship, and if I still have the spark to play, I'll go back and play. And I just, once I made the decision, I just basically shut all other options out, and I just went, fuck it, that's what I'm going to do. And then, I remember the day walking into the Broncos club there. But where would I go? I went straight to see Wayne, because Wayne Bennett came back that year. Yeah. It was the most hardest, awkwardest conversation I've had, because he's so, like, straight edge too. Yeah. So, like, trying to break a conversation up with him of leaving, a sport or your profession. And, I just told him, I can't really exactly what I said, but it was basically just along the lines of, I'm just going to go out and give this a rest and finish my electrical apprenticeship. But I'm saying that like it was an easy conversation, but I probably got 2 words in and started tearing up. I was like, you know what I mean? It's such a weird thing. It's easy to think about it. It's easy to think, oh, okay, I'm going to walk away from it. But when everything, like from the moment you wake up, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to fucking one day. And everyone's saying, oh, you're going to make it too from when you're 6. Like, especially being from Sunny Coast, it's like there's not that many sports stars that come out of here. So
it's a lot of pressure, bro.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention too, it's like the decision's like yours, but it's also you're feeling a slight, I don't know what you'd
everyone
say,
else,
disservice to like everyone that's riding you too, because everyone's gone. Especially we just made the Broncos the under-20s grand final the year before, so you know what I mean. Everyone was always on a high back home from that too. It's like, oh yeah, and they're always messaging you, keeping up. Oh, how you going in pre-season this year? I'm going, yeah, real good, man.
Those old
I'll get a
coaches,
trial
bro.
this year. Yeah,
All your mates that are like, yeah, my mate Jumi plays for blah blah blah, like blah blah.
yeah,
Coaches that have been with you through whatever and still stay in contact, and they're like, mate, you're going to be a great one. All those people, man, when you decide to go, flick the switch off and not do it.
yeah.
In some way, it kind of feels like you've let all those people down. You know what I mean?
And it's like you said, it's a switch, man. You can't. I can never do anything half-hearted too. So like, if I was like, oh, I'll just maybe I'll just write out the next. I don't know. I just like to either make a decision, bang, and I'll go to one or the other. So it was dark too coming out of that too. So that was it, and that was literally the last time I stepped foot into the club. And Wayne was so good about it. He just said, you know what I mean. He's like that too. He just says, make a commitment and write it out. Like live with your own choices, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Basically, what he said, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said, make a decision and live with it. And that's something that he just said to me. And yeah, man, he made it. Yeah, and that was it. And walked out the door and shipped back to Sunny Coast and started working as a second-year apprentice, which was, again, like you're saying, did you go through dark moments? It's like when you're on a pedestal of a semi, or whatever, professional sports player, and everyone, like, you walk around, like, you know, at that stage you're going to like schools and stuff, and just because you had a Bronco label, they probably didn't know me, I was whatever, but just because you had a Bronco label on you, they were, oh, can I have your autograph? And they're just always frothing, and you do build a slight bit of an ego, and you hold, like, everyone's holding you at a higher level, and everyone, just the energy is around you is just so high because you're the man, like, you know what I mean, everyone's looking up to you, you're the man. So flicking that switch, cool. Transitioning back into a second-year apprentice too, so I hadn't worked for, I don't know, whatever, a year.
Now you're fucking no one.
As a second-year apprentice, walking into people that have been in it's just the same. It's the same thing, man. It's like when you walk into like doing your first preseason and you're just the rookie, and like all the older players and like, oh man, you got to earn your stripes here, sort of thing. Like, or you know what I mean? Like, there's some shit you got to learn before you start strutting around. And it was the same thing. Walking back into a second-year apprentice, you were just a note. Like, people definitely found you interesting because you played footy and stuff. Once you get talked, but to the people that have just been working for 30 years and don't give a fuck really who you are, like,
that's always the thing.
That was the hardest transition because, and to me, I'm like, man, fuck it. Like, I still learn from it today. It's the biggest ego check I've ever had. Yeah. Bouncing back into that sort of stuff, and it's just fuck. I had to ride that out for a while. It was just a constant. It wasn't like I took a couple of weeks and I got used to it. I still have it now. Like, you have moments now where I'm like, fuck, was that the right choice? Like, you know what I mean? You just have to be okay with no one caring who you are, bro. And your whole life before that, everyone cared who you are. But
but when you're outside looking in, for instance, any professional sports player, not just rugby league, when you're in the industry and then you step outside, it's like deep down, man. Like when you think about it, like you ain't shit. Like you're not shit, man. Yeah. Like you're just somebody who's good at their trade. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could be good at your trade, but not be someone who I want to sit down and have a conversation with. That doesn't mean you're better than everybody. Yeah. Same with you meet some cool people on the trade site, man. And you're like, what are you doing being a tradesman, bro? Like, 100%. You're so smart or whatever.
Some of my best mates now, like, it's a catch-22. Like, you don't like the environment. I used to be like, oh, this is a shit environment. People just slamming meat pies and fucking smoking durries and whatever. You know what I mean? Everyone goes through it, but like I was like, oh fuck, coming from a professional football player, these guys, they almost give up because they're like, that's just the status quo of being a tradesman. You just sort of give up and I can't wait for the weekend. And then the general conversation is just them, how, you know, they talk about their partners and stuff, and it's just that lingo. It's built into like the I don't know what it is, the tradesman vibe, but
it's the old way of thinking.
But I've definitely met some of my best mates from there, some of the best, like, man, to start me off on like some of my spiritual journey, like on that same job. Met one of my mates there and he got me into the ayahuasca, and that's when I started, you know, exploring that sort of side of myself as well as the spiritual side. And then that wouldn't have happened really, because it's the same thing, like in a football environment, they've got their own culture and values and stuff, and I'm starting to see now it's getting a little bit more loose and people are definitely doing different things, and it's cool. I wish it was back then, but it's not even that long ago, but when I was, it was just sort of like even speaking out or saying something different. Being alternative wasn't really ideal. And
The in thing.
the in thing, but now it's sort of coming in. But man, yeah.
Bro, that's a topic actually. Like, I'd read about ayahuasca, like when we were in 2013, 2012, 2013, and I was like, oh, what's this? Like, this is cool, whatever. And then you come to me and it's like, man, this dude told me about ayahuasca, and I'm like, yeah, bro, I heard about that, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, oh, you might have already done it. You might have done it, or you're like, I'm going to do it, and I'm like, what? I'm like, let me know, and you went and done it, man. And credit to you, like, you got me on that journey of that spiritual journey of seeing there's a lot more to life than what the eye sees, man.
Doesn't it open your perspective in that? Yeah. So it's stepping away from sorry to keep going back onto it, but like a football mentality too. Like it's very hard to open your perspective up, and you think that's all it is too, especially being in it so long. So then stepping away and then realising shit, there's more to life. And then my mate Mitch, who first put me onto. I was going through already quite a spiritual little journey before that, just through exploring meditation, watching I don't know. I've always had that sort of deep inside me that I did want to explore and just see what's different. You know what I mean? I remember the day too. I was just being an apprentice. Fucking, I don't know what I was doing, cleaning up or something. And my mate Mitch, he was talking to one of the other tradesmen, and they were talking about ayahuasca. I couldn't even say it then. I still remember going up to him, and I was like, "What are you talking? Is it? What are you saying? Is it yo?" I think I said like yo whiskey or something. He's like, "What the fuck did you just say? Get away from me!" But then I ended up talking to him about it, and then he explained it to me a bit. He told me about like what to expect, and he just asked me about like, you know, what have I been doing in my own spiritual journey then? And I just said, I just told him like, I've obviously I was just meditating a lot then.
You're just trying to find a way, like, what is this? Like,
I got thrown into the, like, stepping away from football again, I just got thrown into the ocean of like life, and I just was trying to figure shit out on my own feet. Holly just got pregnant too, so we're having a baby on the way. So that was another, curveball got thrown into the mix on top of everything else. So I took him up on it and gave it a go. And that first experience, that first ceremony I had, man, that was just like a light bulb switch on. That was everything that I thought before that
mattered.
Was basic. Yeah, everything that I thought mattered, just get a piece of paper, scrunch that up, and just peg it into the ocean. Keep a little bit of it. Keep your sanity, of course, but man, fuck. So it's such a interesting thing to try to describe to people. Like
you come away from that, bro. Just think, like, you come away and all the shit that matters, you just say, like, in your head, you're just like, man, fuck all that. That doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? You're just like, fuck that.
It's just some of the stuff that we are concerned about, and you go through an experience. It's just an experience, and you finish one of those, and you just come back, and your perspective is just it's. I truly don't know how to explain. People try to tell me explain the experience. I can explain parts of it, what I thought happened, but I don't know if that's exactly how it went because you're in such a state. The first time was definitely the most. I've done it twice. First time was definitely the most powerful experience, and that's when I remember calling you up. I was coming home because you were like, "Oh," you actually messaged me like, "Oh, how'd you go?" And I'm like, "Oh, bro, you've got no idea. You've got no idea." I'm not even going to try to explain it on here, but basically just the most. Oh, fuck, I just burped into that's disgusting. The biggest part of it was the and everyone has the sort of same experience. Like you feel the energy start at your toes and it makes your way up your body and to your head, and that's where to me it just exploded myself into like a tornado vortex sort of thing going up to the sky. I did write a blog about this once upon a time, but I don't know whether it is now. And you make your way up to the outer space, and then I was looking at the earth, and I just saw how everything worked, and how the grass was growing, how animals communicated to each other, and every possible thing, and even in your subconscious of the questions, I knew exactly. It was like you were basically God. I've spoke to a couple of people, and they have the same sort of experience, and a lot of people always have the same experience of, you have the choice. I don't know if you've had this. You've been far more times than me now. The choice of life or death at some point of the experience.
Yep.
I remember going through that too. It's like I was in such a good space up there. I had all the answers. I knew what was going on. I knew how to fix the problems. I knew how to, maintain stuff. And then it came to the stage of, okay, well, you can either decide now to stay here with all the answers, or go back down and basically figure out the answers with what you've seen here. That was basically one of the experiences I went through. And I was just going, oh man, this is so good up here. I know everything. Yeah. And if I go down, then I'm not going to know it all. But that was the thing. It's like you basically, your body dies and you stay up here, or you continue on living.
That's a fucking scary choice.
Yeah.
Do you want to leave everybody? Hey,
it's insane.
Come up here, man. Leave everybody. Come live with us.
It's like a freaking...
don't see the loved ones.
Yeah, it's like a freaking horror... Not a horror movie, but it's like, bro, fuck yeah. Like, leave your unborn child, you can leave him, but you know everything. You could probably try to send him messages and shit from up here.
For people who don't know, man, like, ayahuasca is a brew which is made in... they think it originates from the Amazon. So the Amazonian tribes, the indigenous Amazonians used to make a brew. The shamans used to make a brew. It was between a kakapi vine, which is the ayahuasca vine, and the chacruna. And what they do, they brew it up over so many hours, and then it comes into this brew, and it's like liquid. It tastes like kind of dirty, kind of
like a muddy,
bittery type of
thing.
And what it does, it's a psychedelic, so it kind of gives you a DMT vision trip, and it's lasts over probably 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And what they reckon used to happen was the shamans would go into the jungle and brew this vine up, and they would ingest it, and then they would speak to the plants of the Amazon and the animal spirits and stuff, and find out wisdom from the gods and everything else about how they can keep the tribe from being healthy. If there's a sickness in the tribe, how they can help the sickness, all this stuff. And so now it's made its way into Western world, and what happens, man, is like when you have it, when you ingest it, you go through a lot of problems that your subconscious mind is holding in the back, so you don't see it every day, but you actually come to face with some of your biggest demons and shit that only you know about.
Yeah.
And you got to go through that. And they think it's like going through, I think they said one session of ayahuasca is like going through 50 or 100 sessions of psychotherapy. Is that psychotherapy?
Yeah.
Psychology session, sorry. And it's like, when you come out of that experience, man, it is like there's all this weight lifted off your shoulder, and you feel like, oh, this is how I'm going to live my life. But soon after, man, you gain a little bit, but 4 weeks later, you're kind of back in the routine of life, because that's how life is. Yeah. So it's you're still trying to get better, and it's one of the most craziest, beneficialist, most benefiting things I've ever done.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to you. And you've been twice. I've kind of ran with it a bit. Like I try go maybe 4 times a year.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Like,
but you're obviously into the stage now of just channeling, like finding out more. So my first time was just a big explosion of boom, bang, like okay, and then get down and figure that stuff out. And like, man, it was about 1.5 years when I went to my second time, and I was still now. I'm thinking back on some of the experiences I went through. I'm like, oh, that possibly could have been what was meant to be presented there for this moment. Yeah. But yeah, you can use it as a perfect tool. Like, I mean, like it's no different to doing any other sort of practice that you use.
No.
It's just a very enhanced, potent version of it. And the second time I went, I had a real opposite experience the second time I went with it. The second time I was a lot more... First time doing anything, I'm always organised. I had my diet done. I was meditating a heap. I had clear intentions of what I wanted to get out of it. And then the second time I was a bit more under stress, and obviously had Jay at that stage, so there's like a lot more busyness in life. But it was just a real, like you said, you're facing your subconscious demons or whatever that are in your life, but you're bottling them up, you're putting them on the back burner. So the second time I went was just real. It was just like a real struggle. It's like I was just getting kicked in the ass. Like I really wasn't doing any of like my daily practices, like my stretching and that. I was doing a little bit, but I was half-hearted. So I went in there and I just had a fucking shit time dealing with the back pain. Like I was just like, because obviously it's 4 hours of you're trying to meditate and sit upright for 4 hours. Like, freaking hats off to the people who can do it. But a lot of that time I just laid down and I just like, my back is so sore. And I was just, I don't know, it was just a real grindy sort of one. I was sort of looking, I was real hungry as well. So like, I was like, sort of like, can't wait for this. I can't wait for this to be over sort of experience. But
you're kind of shutting the door on it a little bit.
It still teaches me stuff like, and like what, why was it like that? It was because and I went in there to try to, I sort of went in there like, oh yeah, I've done it before. Like an ego went into it. I've done this before. This is going to be cool. I'm going to shoot straight back up to the same place. I'm going to figure some stuff out there. But the old
Not today,
Mother Earth just goes, sit down, little boy.
Not today, son.
You got to sort your daily life out first.
I didn't have my first really profound experience, man, until probably 7 sittings with it.
Yeah.
And then that's how I knew how to like.
What are you up to now?
Oh, I think I'm in the 20s.
Shit.
But I've done a bit like overseas and stuff as well with different plants and stuff, which is crazy. But how do you think like your mindset has changed from coming out of that? Like, what's your mindset now on life?
From that experience?
Yeah, well,
just now.
Just now, like from those experiences, from leaving football, from, like what's your mindset? Are you just trying to get better every day? And
I'm far more open to all possibilities of anything in life. Like before, it was just one thing. It was football. That was it. But now it's like, okay, I've got 2 kids now. So how do I be a better father?
Yeah,
every day.
Sure.
Even and how do I be a better partner to Holly? Being a professional sports player too, everyone has a similar sort of thing. You always constantly like want to get better. Like I feel like that's a pretty meaningful journey in life if you're just trying to get better, but balancing it too, because too much of that can throw you off the edge as well. You're constantly trying to get better and you just forget about just living in the moment. But I suppose from those sort of experiences, from leaving football, from going back into being a apprentice and sort of being at the bottom of the ladder, just checking myself and my ego and just figuring stuff out. Like even having kids, man, I would say I'm fairly selfish as well, sort of a person. But when you have kids, it's just like you got to handball yourself off sometimes. Like you're now a father of a child. Like you have to basically surrender a part of sacrifice and surrender a part of yourself to carry on your
DNA type
sort of thing. So
grow them up and give them off to the big world. You know what I mean? Like give them the best chance they can. But like, so maybe what daily routines? How have your daily routines like things? How you're really looking after yourself in the day? Give me a rundown on what your morning or whatever would kind of be like.
Yeah. Well, I go through a lot of phases, but I suppose when I'm like now I'm focused. Like when I have a goal ahead, I get real focused and I get a bit more like addict style focus. So now I normally try to just wake up. I'm always an early riser, so I would, if I'm work starts at 6:30, I'm always trying to get up at 4, get in at least an hour or so by myself, and that could be anything from just stretching out, meditate, or try to. I never get it down 100%. Try to meditate every single day, or just some form. Like I see meditation in a lot of forms. So even if I'm paying attention to eating my breakfast or eating something, like if I just try to focus on something fully throughout the day. But back to the morning, I'll just cold showers is what I'm introducing in now. Like that's always been a good thing. I just love the fact like you wake up. Some days you just don't feel like it, but it's just you just have to, I don't know.
You just fucking do it.
There's something about this cold shower, especially in winter. Winter's the best time for it because you're like, why? I don't want to get cold. Is it really going to do that much benefit to me? But it's just the act of, man, this is
doing something you don't want to do.
This is a day for you to win. So
yeah.
if you get this one under your belt, same as making your bed. It's hard now to make my bed because obviously all that stuff's still in it. But it's a philosophy I always take. You make your bed every day. It's just the first job done. Have a cold shower. You're gonna feel better. I promise you.
Bro, if you just jump in the cold shower in the morning at whatever time it is, turn it on, you might have to sit there and just be like, come on, motherfucker, you got this. You know, you got this. Yeah. And as soon as you're in, bang.
But you always find little games. I always tell myself, just face your demons, just get in there.
Pacing up and down, you're like, come on, brother, you got this.
And it's always hard when you dip a shoulder and you're like, fuck. I don't know. But, yeah, man, so...
Promise you, though, when you get out of that cold shower and you dry yourself off, stay in there for 3 minutes, just do a bit of breathing, deep breathing, whatever. When you get out of there, you're just like, whoa, let's go.
Yeah.
Like keen for the day, huh?
Yeah, 100%. And it's good. It's good for even whatever you're doing. Like even tradespeople, like you boost that up and you have a nice, like, black coffee or something and you're set, ready to go.
That's your morning. You've just, boom, set yourself up for a great day.
Yeah. So, basically, that's sort of like my morning routine. I only have a shower, stretch out, most of the time have like a black coffee. I've just been working, so I'd go to work and even work. When I started working full time, like after football, I was always a bit arrogant to it. Like I didn't really want to give it a full crack because I always said this is not what I wanted to do or blah, blah, blah. I just did it because I had to do it when I was playing 20s, I had to work or study, so... I was just trying to search, but lately I've just been like where you are in life is just where you are in life. So if you're working at the moment, it's just just deal with it and figure out how to be good at it. Figure out how to gain some meaning out of anything. Like because so many times I got caught up with a lot of it is you're always trying to change what your life is like because you're trying to fit it into what is classified as a meaningful life, and you see a lot of motivational videos and you see a lot of other people doing like cool stuff that it's like, oh man, I'd love to live like that, but it just draws you away. Like I'm telling you, like you can find so much meaning in, even if your life sucks to you right now, you can find so much meaning if you just give it the focus of, or just give it the time to find it. So like, for instance, being a tradesman or just just going to work every day, it's like, it sucks, and that's the status quo. Everyone, like, you rock up to something, pre-start in the morning, and hey, man, hey, oh, fuck, can't wait to Friday, fuck this place. It's just like, fuck, come on, man, don't be like that. Please, you're making me, like, same thing as, like, when it's real hot or something, someone goes, fuck, it's hot, like, I know it's fucking hot, but let's just do something. So, anyway, I just try to be, like, the last job I done, I just tried to be the best tradesman I could possibly be. Like literally just go in with a good headspace and just get whatever I had to get done. And now that I have kids, it's like when I get home, it's going to be all good. And the hardest thing too is like when you go to work too, that's only the first half of your day, that's the first half of the game. Then you get home, you're going to have to keep the same energy level up. So that introduced me into like making sure I'm eating correctly at work and stuff, because if you come home and you're all slacked and lazy, it's just like, what does that show on your kids? You know what I mean? So
man, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yeah.
If a plant is not growing, it's dying. It's the same as anything. If you don't have a goal in life, or see yourself as being somebody who you want to be, or keep striving to be the best father you can, and blah blah blah, you're being shit role model, and you're pretty much sitting there dying. You're not doing anything. You're becoming stale. So you always got to have that goal. And I think what you were talking about was being aware of your emotions and how you can be such a positive person even in the shittest circumstances that you're in, which really helps. Like meditation helps with that, breathing practices help with that, eating good food helps with that, and just being present and thinking about your thoughts and why you're here, why am I doing this, like that's the gold. That doesn't matter what the fuck you're doing. That's the gold in life, bro. Like be here now and enjoy what, like, man, one day this could all just be fucking wiped out and you're not even here anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just got to live, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I find breathing, meditation, being around good people, and like that enhances your life. And that's like, life is like, fuck, life's good at the moment, man.
Yeah.
When you're not doing that and you're drinking piss and you're eating shit food and you're sitting on the couch watching TV, that's when you're like, man, I need to fucking do something with my fucking life, man. You know, like, why can't I be like, you just get out there and fucking do it.
Yeah.
Get around people who help you, lift you up, and fucking do it. Reach out to people, do it.
And that's the mentality at the moment. Like, it's to live something, like, to push yourself to be better every day. Because I just always ask myself, what's the alternative? Is it just, and the alternative is just basically giving up. And like, there's already there's billions of people already doing it. So fuck it, just try. What if you could every single day you just do something a little bit better, or you make someone else's life a little bit better, or you just improve yourself. Like, even if it's like, yeah, okay, fair enough, you have to go to a shitty job or whatever, but I just try to be the best at that job. Just try it. Like, maybe something will happen. Because if you're trying to look at like, oh, I don't like this job, I'd rather be a fucking whatever it may be, you're still going to have to try really hard at the alternative as well. Like, say if you wanted to be a I don't know what people want to do these days, but I don't know, like, even like an online business or whatever. Like, you're still gonna that's still gonna suck. You're still gonna have to put in days where you have to try. So try to be the best at what you're in now. Learn a heap out of it. So then when you transition into the next stage, you've built up the foundations and the skills that just pure, this the philosophy of hard work or philosophy of just trying to be better.
Yeah, when a time comes when it gets hard again and you're thinking, oh, fuck, here's another hard time. Then you get to think back of all the times you've been through where you've put in and been. It's like, fuck, it's not really that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, I've done it before.
Yeah.
It's, and I guess, man, does that kind of flow through to what you're doing now, which is like, you've been caning yourself with running.
Yeah.
Does that flow through with that?
100%. Yeah.
So, like, let the people know, like, why did you start running? Like, I know Kenyans are good at running. So, like, it could be in your blood.
Not by try, bro. I've never been fit. You see me on the field, arse hanging out.
Because that's a mental game, bro, running.
Yeah. Again, it's a stage in my, I suppose, exploration of who I am. You know, like, for me, it started just as a well, I did the marathon last year, 2019, and I signed. That was pretty sure that was just a New Year's thing. New Year's is that typical thing where you just start something. So I did that.
Wait, is a marathon 40 kilometers? 42 kilometers.
42.2. I signed up for that pretty arrogantly. Trained real hard at the start of it, but then just slowly, just life got a hold of me. That's you know what I mean. Just didn't keep consistent with it, but the goal was the goal, so I had to do it no matter what. So I got through that, but I really wasn't happy with the process of it, and that's the best thing of whatever you're trying to do is a process. That's where you learn all the good stuff. So. I wasn't that happy with it, so then after that was finished and we went overseas, and then this year I just decided to sign up for an ultra marathon, which before the marathon I hadn't ran anything over 15 Ks at one time, so that was just already probably a no-no as far as the running philosophy goes, like start slow, increment it, but I'm always the worst for that. What's the biggest thing I can do and try to go for it. So yeah, I signed up for the ultra this year, which I done last week, even though I got canned, but I suppose, yeah. So, but why running it's another stage in just getting out of my own head, because like it's the same like an ayahuasca thing. You're facing what you're neglecting. You know what I mean? And a lot of things when you run, like there's a few reasons, but one of the things is like when you run, especially by yourself. I love running by myself, but when you run for hours on end, it's just so much stuff you're just gonna have to face. Like, oh, you feel tight, you should probably go. You've done 10Ks, like this is enough. Like, just go home. Like, this is all good. Or even when you're out there for a real long weekend, like trying to do like 30Ks, and you got your phone with you, and you go, oh, I could just call my Holly up to come pick me up or something. But yeah, it brings me out of my own head, and
or does it bring you in?
Yeah, I suppose A bit of both. Yeah, I suppose it brings.
It-
It's the same. I use it as the same. It's just a tool for me to explore what
It's a form of
what's
meditation.
form of
kinda,
meditation.
yeah.
You have to, like, sitting there is hard too. Just almost as hard as running, because when you're running, and I try to not listen to music when I'm doing my long runs, just so I'm just there with my breath and dealing with like, fuck, my legs are sore, but just it's all good. Just return to your breath and just breathe and just focus on that, and then you can probably punch out another couple of minutes, and then before you know it, like how meditation goes, before you know it, your distractions
Second wind.
yeah, separate. You get a second wind, you just keep going. But yeah, I just don't know, man. It's teaching me the most at the moment, running.
And so what you were saying as well, your ultra got cancelled because of the coronavirus,
Yeah,
and last week you just went and done it by yourself.
yeah. I'd trained like for 4 months before it, so I'm like, it's been postponed. So I still think it's on.
Oh,
But the day was a day in my head. I didn't really care, and I'm doing it selfishly too, because it's just I just wanted to know if I could do it. It's just it's just another one of those what ifs, like, you're not really a runner. Like, I'm definitely not a runner. Like, even though I'm not definitely not a runner, but what if you can finish an ultra marathon? And it's a nice little badge on your ego too. Like, oh man, you're not, you can finish an ultra. I know it's just an ultra. It's basically just over a marathon, but still.
Not many do it. Like, in the scheme of people in the world, not many people do it,
But
bro.
I'm telling you, everyone can do it. Like, when people go, how the fuck do you run for so long? I'm like, you could do it too. But it's just people don't want to try it.
Yeah.
So I just thought, like, when I started, I was like, fuck, what happens if I just tried it? You know what I mean? And it is a cool thing because not many other people are doing it, but just slowly. Like, when I started, it was a 5K run was fucked. And then I was like, then I built myself to a 10K, and that was only in the space of a month or so. And I was like, what if surely you can get 20? And then you go 20, and then it starts to become real. It's like, holy shit, I could probably do a solid, whatever, how many Ks. But I didn't really train, again, for this. I didn't train properly because I'm doing all this stuff by myself. I didn't really follow. I didn't get a coach. I didn't get anything else. I just wing my own sort of thing. And
That's you, bro, from when you've been younger. You just go on your own thing and do your own thing.
Yeah,
you know
again,
what I mean?
it's good and bad. Sometimes it's probably definitely better. Like, one of the things I want to look into now is just joining community. You get better faster if you join a community of like-minded people, because when you're by yourself, it is a lonely process. You learn a lot about yourself, but I suppose your performance takes longer to progress. But it was, so the ultra was cancelled, but I sort of was at the start. I was like, fuck yeah, I don't actually have to do it because it's not on. I'm not. What's the point of going out there and just doing it by yourself? You're not going to get anything. You're not going to get the medal. Because that's always cool to have, like, something to show people. Like, like that, when they look in your garage or whatever, like, that's at the time I ran a marathon, or this time I ran an ultra marathon. So I knew I wasn't going to get any of that, and I was like, okay, cool, I don't have to do it. Fuck it, I'll just do it later, or I'll do it whenever. But I just thought through, and I'm like, I'm really trying to do this for myself. I don't necessarily care about getting anything else from it. I just want to know if I can do it. Like, can you run for 7 hours straight? Like, and that's basically what it was. It was just, can you do it? And yes or no on that day too. That you set. So I just went, stuff it. I'll go out there and give it a red hot crack. And crazy enough, when I went out there, so I posted something online. I was like, I'm just going to go out there and do it anyway. And this kid Billy, he just messaged me 3 days out. He was always real fit at school. He's a boxer as well. But he just goes, "Hi, bro, do you want someone to run out there with you?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, come along if you want, but like pretty far." Like, "You've been training?" He goes, No. I've been doing a couple of like runs. I think he's been overseas. So I'm like, "Oh fuck, right." He's a bit of a nut. I knew he could probably push through, but yeah. It just that mindset just made me so much more motivated. I'm like, this kid's just gonna jump off the couch and come out and just tackle a 55K with me. Like, sure enough, he's probably gifted, and like, I think he went state in school for running and stuff, but just his mentality made me more motivated to be like, bro, if you just want to do something, you can definitely do it. And I suppose that's why I chose long distance marathon, because it's such a like, it's a sort of pointless. Like, what's the point of running for so long? Like,
I haven't done much of it, but I know for a fact that when I used to do individual sports, say Ironmans when I was younger and surf lifesaving and stuff like that. When you do Ironmans and even cross countries and stuff, it's not even like you're not doing it for the accolades and that. Really, it's when you finish and like those couple of hours after you finish and you're just like, man.
Well, that's another
like
thing.
this,
Like I was saying, there's when you say like why do you run? There's a lot of things. There's a few different reasons why you do it. It's the same. You run for 7 hours. The best part is probably 2 minutes after it. It's all it is. It's only 2 minutes of feeling like, oh yeah, you're a bit of a high, like fuck yeah, boys, we done it. But then it's like, like now I'm like, okay, that was last week. I've got to do something different. But I use the same. Like you can use. This is what I was trying to say before. Like whatever you're doing, you can find meaning in it, and that's the same meaning as like, why do people surf for so long? Like people are really good at surf. I'm not that good, but like when you surf, like say when you go surfing, like really all you're doing is duck diving waves for like people go out for 3 hours and they're just duck diving, paddling most of the time. Out of the whole session of surfing, you're probably only on your feet for like a minute and a half out of 4 hours. Like if you count just when you're actually on a wave. But every time you catch the wave and you come off the back, that 30 seconds after it, you go, oh, fuck, that was so good. That wave was sick.
Euphoria?
And that's what makes you paddle back out again. I want to feel that again. Let's get in another one. And I suppose it's a similar sort of thing. Like everyone says, you get running high. Like when you do your runs, and it's the same. It's like you get a couple of minutes of high, but then you want the high again. So you go out and do another thing, and you got to find a nice balance to it too, because that can obviously overtake your life. But fuck, I'd rather be getting addicted to that than addicted to anything else.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And like, have any books helped you like recently? Like, what are you reading? Any books? Because you've always kind of been a big reader. I mean, you kind of got me into reading as well. Like in a sense, like you were always reading, and back in the day, I was just fucking playing Xboxes and stuff. But now I'm like, more reading.
Well, in school, I hated books. I only read one book, and so I'm still really bad reading. I'm real slow, but again, through that transition stage of football into something else, I just started picking up books and trying to learn about stuff. So, I just started diving my head into any sort of philosophy books, whatever, performance books, whatever interests me at that point in my life, I'll just read.
Bro, when you think about it, a book, right? Somebody has sitting down and written this whole book about a knowledgeable thing that they think they know or they do know about a topic.
Yeah.
And they've sitting down and given hours and hours and hours and submitted in. And then when you pick that up, you're just paying for knowledge on something.
Yeah.
If you can sit there and be present with it and read a book, you're going to get something out of that book, whether it's big or small. It could change your life. It may not. You may implement something, but it's someone's knowledge. It's like an older person telling you a story.
Yeah.
And you getting something out of it. So I think the more you can read and the more you can kind of pick up on things, highlight them, whatever, you're getting knowledge from somebody who you don't even know, but they have more knowledge about some sort of thing. And then as soon as you finish reading that book, you now have knowledge on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can give that knowledge to someone else or what
it's such an amazing tool, books just in themselves, of people just having the form of to write down what's going inside their head. Like at the start, I was like, I used to get a book and made sure I finished it. Like I go bounce between the two ideas now. Like I'd buy a book and I'd force myself to finish it. You know, sometimes takes you maybe a month to read a book or so.
Or fucking longer.
Or longer. And then you get halfway through it, but something in your life changes and you're not really that attached to that idea anymore. Or you want to learn something else. But at the start, I was like, no, I just need to finish this book, fuck everything else. And I'd grind through the rest of the book. But at the moment now, I just sort of, like you look in my cupboard there, it's just books, fucking 80% of them are half read. But I would always go back to them. Like say this afternoon, I want to, you know what I mean, get some more information on whatever. I would just go, oh, I've got a book for that, and it's just like I've got, especially the way I read. I'm basically reading either what do you call it, biographies? Biographies on people or specific
food,
disciplines.
Whatever,
So I've got I've got the best minds in there. So at the moment, I've got like really access. I could phone calls to whoever, like the best minds in nutrition, the best minds in sports and performance, and I don't know, business and blah 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 blah. The list goes on, but you can just go into I could have a 10-minute conversation this afternoon just talking to one of the best minds in that. So that really is just that's how I've been reading lately. At the moment, I'm reading a book, The Illusion of Knowledge, and it's just talking about how there's no such thing as, or he's debating the idea of individual thought. Like a lot of the thought patterns that you think we have aren't really individual to us. It's a bounce off aspect of our environment and the people that have taught us stuff. Like, at the moment, like, I came up with an idea. It's your idea speaking it, but it's a lot with your, like, you know what I mean?
Influences.
It's everything around you. It's common sense, but it's cool how he puts it into perspective and puts into...
What's it called?
The illusion of knowledge.
Illusion of knowledge.
Yeah.
Up there with one of the good books you've read?
Yeah, it's definitely...
It's interesting at this time.
It broadens your perspective. It's definitely cool, man. Like, it's another... Yeah, you think you know stuff, but it's not really you. Like, when people claim like they know, it's like, yeah, okay, you're putting it out there, but it's never really your idea, and you should be appreciative of, like, collective knowledge. That's the most powerful knowledge you can have. It's like, even people like listen to podcasts and stuff, like, it's all collective, and that's the easiest way to gain enough knowledge. Bounce it off and it's talking about setting up your environment for your knowledge. Like, your environment around your house influences your knowledge perceptions, and you know what I mean? It's different. Like, it's going into... I'm only halfway through it, but it's a good book. It's a really good book.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. Totally see, like, we're sitting here, you don't have a TV in front of your lounge, you know what I mean? Like,
just got the...
Setting up your house to make you be better every day is kind of what I got from that, yeah?
Yeah.
For sure. Bro, what would be... we've spoke roughly on it. Well, you've kind of answered it, man. I kind of asked you, like, what...
I do beat around the bushes with my answers, though. Sorry.
It's good, bro. But, like, man, sometimes when I see you getting up running and, like, doing stuff, like, sometimes I just think, man, does he fucking have the same thoughts I have during the day? Like, what would be... You've already kind of given you tips of people, like, what to do. Just start, hey? Just do it,
just ask yourself. What I'd take... Like a lot of people at the moment, like lately I've taken a lot of inspiration off like David Goggins sort of philosophy. Like, just ask yourself, what if you just tried it and not just half-hard tried it? What happens if you just went all in? Just what's the worst that's going to happen? Especially in the time we are now, like where everything, what we're used to is just being obliterated and broken up. So like, why not just try something and what if and see where it runs it? But don't just go, oh yeah, I'll try it and just poke around with it. Just do it. Like, have a proper go.
Have a crack at it, yeah.
It's only either gonna better you, or after a while you'll forget about it. So
it's gonna benefit you anyway.
Yeah, you're either gonna know you hated it or you loved it. It's either
I've fucking done that. Yeah, you know what I mean.
So I think, was that about running?
No, that was just about people with their mindset. But man, I want to go back to like the other week, bro. Like, I think I just had surgery and I was just chilling, and then next thing my phone rang and had your name on it, and like I hadn't heard from you in ages, bro. Like, kind of try keep in touch. I kind of felt I was the one that was always like, "Sup, bro, how you going?" And then you just like wouldn't reply, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, he must be going through some shit, or I'm just being annoying." You know what I mean? And then but that's how I am, bro, with people who I care about. I kind of reach out all the time, maybe be annoying, like hate texting. I'd rather phone call, like, yo, check in, how you doing, bro? Like, what's on in your life? Like, that's who I am. But I was sitting there in the lounge, bro, and my phone started ringing, and it was like, Jumi, and I was like, man, fuck this guy. I'm not picking up the phone up. You know what I mean? I kind of turned away, bro. And then next thing, this thing was like, nah, bro, pick up. Like, something might be wrong. And then I picked up. Bro, we spoke for ages, and you kind of just unraveled, man, like the type of what you'd been going through, man, and like, you just shut a lot of people off, and it wasn't, you weren't not intentional. It was just like how you got through, and you opened up, man. And I was like, when you hung that phone up, when we hung up, I was like, fuck, man, I think he's just like been through a bit of a I pretty much gave him a therapy session, man. Like someone there to vent to, bro. You just spilled out so much stuff, and I was like, "Fuck!" And now it's cool, bro, to see that. Like, I'm up here. We did a run, swim, run at Alulabar this morning. Like, that was pretty good, bro. Did some zoo workout, bro. What are your thoughts on zoo? Zoo workout?
Yeah, tell you what, bust your hips up. Those, what do you call them, frog squats or whatever.
Froggies, man. Like, for instance, Zoo's been around for ages, and I've never really been into it. I'm always like, fuck Zoo. Like, why don't you just go lift weights and whatever? But now when there's no weights,
Yeah.
I looked into it the other day, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try some of this, man. Woo,
Yeah.
burner, bro. You're on the timer, and as much as like, I've never really been into much body weight stuff. That stuff burns, bro.
It does, man. That's good. I'm gonna definitely incorporate some of that stuff into now my
It's hard.
Ironman training.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can do those things and come out of there like, nah, it was easy. Like, credit to you, bro. That's
Like we only did 15 minutes and I was fucking toast. Imagine hitting an hour of that stuff, hitting every single like target you had to.
So we did do, bro, a bit of breathing and
yeah, man, it was a good morning. Like you said, back to your question, sort of how like the shut off stage. I don't know. I'm pretty I'm obviously an introvert. I'm a really introverted person, and I've like a lot of my footy friends that I've basically not intentionally shut off, but I just sort of stepped away from it. And people deal with like I definitely was dealing with a lot of stuff. Everyone's a work in process. I'm still a work in process now. Everyone has their days, but everyone deals with stuff differently. But I just sort of dealt with leaving that. I was listening to something not long ago, like when something happens, when a big change happens, there's like 4 stages you go through. There's like the rejection sort of stage. You try to just push it away. Like I don't just spewing and brought this up because I don't know the other 3, but it's like rejection, something, and there was acceptance at the end. There's 2 more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you look up 4 stages of change, you'd figure out what I meant. But I know what I'm trying to say. The first one is rejection. So like, when I went through massive changes with my life, and just everything was going on, leaving football, having a kid, whatever it was, else was going on, family issues. That was a big part of it too. All that, even bouncing back to like not having a father figure, because I've got mentioned back in the story too. My stepdad, who was there since 3 to when I went back when I lived down in Brisbane, basically when I moved out of home, Mum and him split up as well. So, and he was always my father figure. But we, I don't know. I'll dive into that a bit later. But I sort of went through a bit of a rejection stage. Like I just wanted to figure out my own life. So I just pushed everything else aside. It was a very selfish act. I just pushed everything else aside. Didn't intentionally, like if someone called me, if it was the right time for me, like it's just if it was the right time for me, I would answer. But if I was busy, I just was like, I don't have time. And a lot of it too, I was sort of under the umbrella of like a bit of shame because I didn't pursue what my childhood dream was. If you know what I mean? Like football was so like I didn't have something to talk about. And it's like, say if someone called you up and be like, hey man, what are you doing? I just hate saying the fact, oh man, I've just been working. And it's like, oh, cool man. It's like there was nothing really boosting.
You didn't think you were worthy for like...
Yeah, and especially with my mates, everyone's a high performer, like, you know what I mean? So, like, I knew myself, I knew what I was capable of, but a lot of that early initial stages of the transition, I just didn't feel worthy of where I was before. And now that's what my friend circle was. So I just pushed that shit away and I just went into my own world. I hit under covers of excuses like, oh, I've got a family now, so I'm just busy and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I don't know. And then through the unraveling stages of it all, and I don't know, just realizing different stuff. I suppose you just you just work through your own problems, your own demons. You realize different stuff, and I just sort of realized even though it's only been like the last year where I'm starting to, even social media, I really went quiet on that too. Like now I'm starting to be just more me. Expressing,
I can tell. I can see when you're like
just doing what I love to do, showing my kids. Like I fucking love them so much, it's unbelievable. So I just figured if that's what I love to do, I'm just gonna show people, and people take some sort of coolness away from it. Like good for them, but it's just what I want to do. So I think now I'm just slowly, like it's just a process. I'm still coming out of the stage of it's still happening, man. So lately I've just been, I'm just trying to connect to whoever wants. I'm still quiet, but man, if I'm trying my hardest to connect back with like people that are close to me, and and it's such an important thing too. Conversations and something that I've just lacked the last few years is just conversations with people, even like family members, man. I don't know, it's just how I was. I just got to get over it too and just open up and talk. And it's a real dangerous thing for a lot of men, especially. They just don't like to talk. Like, you know, you get built into it's just there's a whole package of it. It's like ego and like you're shameful or this is happening in your life, so you just don't want to talk, or you mask it with different things. You know what I mean? You try to cover it up, and everyone handles their shit differently. So I sort of just handled it by pushing things away and just getting real selfish and just in my own bubble.
How many people? So many people would do that, bro. So many people like would fucking do that. That's crazy. Like, I'd still know people, like old people that have done that and still continually do that, like, and don't know how to work through it, don't have the tools to work through it.
Yeah, it's another form of like, you don't know how to work through it, but again, just try it. Like, I know you're sort of not wanting to talk to people because just talk to people. It's fucking, all you're doing is open your mouth. The same thing as what we're doing now. Like, I would never really want to do this a year ago, telling people what I've been doing or how I felt through that stage. But
well, the reason I got you on, bro, you're like one of my best friends, and then also just the fact that you're like, it's fucking interesting, like what you do, and when I see you doing stuff, it kind of pushes me to do more stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of like a brotherly effect, like, man, if he can do it, I can do it, like, and I hope it's the same for you with me and stuff like that as well. Like,
100%. Even if people don't say it, everyone's definitely watching now with online stuff. So
for sure, which is cool. And like, are you going to keep up with the running?
Yeah, I'm transitioning now to I sign up for a half Ironman September.
Yeah, I fucking signed up to the wrong one. I told you that before. I signed up to Noosa, but after this, I'm gonna sign up to it's Mooloolaba.
Yeah, so I think it's just called Sunshine Coast Ironman.
Sunshine Coast. If anyone out there in fucking Brisbane or Sunshine Coast wants to join up, jump on and let's train, bro. When's it coming?
September
13th. Yeah, if anyone wants to,
hopefully it's still on. I don't know. Even if it's not on, I'll do the same thing. Just get out there and get that shit done.
So what's that? What is it?
That's a 1.9k swim into a 90k ride into a 21k run.
Let's go, baby. Let's fucking go.
That's only the little sister to the full Ironman. That's where that's secretly at the moment. That's where my eyes are really sort of going. Like, I'll do this because I know I'm going to struggle fucking a whole heap because I'm shit at swimming, like terrible at swimming, and I don't even have a bike at the moment. I haven't ever rid a bike, like a road bike ever.
Fucking start somewhere, brother.
Yeah, so I'm just
start.
But the full Ironman.
What's a full Ironman?
Double that. So
4K.
What's that? 3K swim.
4K swim.
3.9. 3.8K swim. 180k bike ride, and then a marathon at the end. Bang, baby.
I'm writing that down in my goal book, brother.
Oh, there's one. 2021 March, New Zealand. Got the eyesight all over it, eh?
Get into it.
Damn. But yeah, and then that's again, man. I literally, as soon as I finished that ultra marathon, I was like, I know it. I actually already had this booked into my calendar before it, but I knew I wanted to do something straight after it. I didn't want to just do an ultra marathon and then sit. So I don't know, man, just keep making goals, and personal goals, family goals, relationship goals, and that's what I'm was trying to say before about like communicating again. Like, it's just another life aspect. Yeah. Like, get good at it. Just talk to people. Fuck, it's not that hard. Get good at your own personal goals. Like, if you want to do something, just have a little go.
Just to wrap up, what would, for somebody listening that's kind of going through or doesn't know what they want to do, what is the one tool that kind of helped you in a way, I don't know, like refocus? Or what's the one tool that you kind of think back now and it's like, man, I still use that today, that's helped me? Or
that's a good question. Say that again.
So one tool that you still use today that you've been doing for a while that has helped you in some form or way that you would think would benefit from a lot of people or benefit a lot of people, whether that be meditation practice, your stretching, or
I mean, to me, not so exploration of your mind. Like, your brain's the biggest tool. Like, that's what I look, and I'm just in the mindset now is just basically I'm in a what if mindset. So
Ask the question.
ask yourself the question, like deeply stare into the mirror or into wherever you want to stare into, and just
Write something down.
just write something. Just start. Yeah, basically just start. And basically every day it's the same sort of thing. Like what if I feel like even last night, man. At the moment we're trying to sleep train Rocky. Jay's going through our own sort of bad sleeping habits as well, so they're both waking up. You haven't shit sleeps every night. And we're busy. Holly's starting her business too. So it's just two ways to look at it. I go, last night I had a shit sleep, so I could have woke up today and just been in a mood of like, oh man, I've got an excuse not to do something good today. It's right there. You can hold on to it, or you can just go, just slowly, don't beat yourself up. Just slowly push it away and just go, oh, what if I just had a really good day today? What if I brought my best attitude? What if I just had a good energy about myself today? And then I find a lot of it, if you just start the day, you're more or less going to carry on it throughout the whole. And then if you get to the end of the day, if you've got kids and you put them to sleep and you just got that last little half an hour to an hour before you get to bed, and you're like, man, today was a good day.
Fuck yeah.
Today was a good day, and I just pushed the envelope just a tiny bit further. And that's basically all it means to me at the moment. It's just like
whether that be gratitude journal, write down 3 things you're grateful for, whatever it is. Like, man, if you've got any idea that you want to do or something like that, just fucking start it. Is what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, basically, because what's the alternative as well? That's another thing. Like,
don't do it.
Everyone's a bit of a deep stage before we end it, but like you're gonna die. And that's the other thing too. And that's another thing that like ayahuasca and all those sort of experiences, you're all gonna die in the whole scheme of this whole whatever we're going through in the universe. Like it's so small. Another thing, the way I look at it, like you're so insignificant to the whole. There's no reason why you shouldn't just try to be the greatest thing ever. Because fail, win, lose, draw, it truly doesn't matter. But so you might as well just do what the great, you know what I mean? I don't know if that sounded right, but people get a lot of fear of like, oh, what happens if I fail it, or what happens if it sounds silly? Yeah, so what? Like you're gonna die and no one's gonna care. Like imagine how many cool people have tried things that have like failed them or made them look silly that you don't even care about now because it was 50 or 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, and they probably would have been going through the same sort of things that we're going through now. So I don't know, man. I just really try to say, just if there's something, even as small as mundane task of it is, be the best at it. That's probably my main message for myself and for everyone out there. Just if you want to be a better father, just ask yourself, what if I did something better today to be a better father? If you want to be a better partner to your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, it's like, oh, what if I just tried a little bit better? What happens if I just, I'm not saying I'm the best at it either, but like it's just how I think. Like, what if you just made a nice gesture? What if you made a dinner tonight, or took her out on something that she enjoys? Like, you might not enjoy it, but what if that made her better and she had a better day the next day? Personal things like, what if I just did a bit of training today? Like yesterday I didn't feel like it, but today I could probably do it. What if I learned a new skill? What if I could juggle 4 balls? What if I could learn the piano? And at the very end of it, when you're 80, 90 years old or whatever we can live to when we're
got
there,
a fucking story.
You got something to say. You can record better podcasts. I hope the next time we have a little chat is, man, if I'm still saying the same shit now on the next podcast, I'll be fucking kicking myself. Like I'm a fucking idiot.
Bro, I won't get you on if you're saying the same.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
no, man, fucking really appreciate the morning we've had together and reconnect and for you to jump on the podcast. But if anyone wants to look you up, you're like just on social media.
Yeah, just Jumi Adams on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, I'll leave it.
Probably the only 2 ones I've got. But
I'll leave it in the show notes anyway. But yeah, bro, really appreciate it, and keep grinding, baby.
No worries, brother. Thanks for having me.
Sure, cheers.